Gilligan's Island looks like a perfect deserted paradise until you start paying really close attention. In this video, we're uncovering hidden mistakes you probably never noticed, from civilization appearing in the background to props that vanish between shots, and even moments where Gilligan isn't actually Gilligan. Here are 15 Gilligan's Island mistakes that break the illusion once you see them. Studio buildings in the background. The island is supposed to be a deserted paradise, but in several wide beach shots, something completely out of place sneaks into view. If you look closely behind the lagoon, modern studio buildings from the CBS lot peek over the tree line. The real world is hiding just beyond the frame because the show was actually filmed on what's now the studio's parking lot, reminding viewers that Paradise was carefully staged on a studio lot. Gilligan's body double. Most of the time, Bob Denver is the face of Gilligan, but in one scene, the illusion is broken. In the episode The Secret of Gilligan's Island, when Gilligan is climbing a tree, a wide shot clearly shows a body double standing in for him. It's easy to miss if you're focused on the action, but the difference in posture and movement gives it away. For a moment, the character we trust as Gilligan isn't even on the island, reminding viewers that even the castaways sometimes had help from behind the camera. Gilligan's glasses disappear. In this episode, the mosquitoes are putting on a lively concert, and Gilligan is right in the middle of all the chaos. At first, everything seems normal. Gilligan is wearing his glasses as he fumbles and dances along with the music. But if you pay close attention to the scene, something odd happens. His glasses suddenly vanish mid-scene, only to reappear a few moments later without any explanation. It's such a small detail that most viewers wouldn't notice, yet it perfectly highlights the kind of continuity slip-ups that slip through the cracks during filming. Electric guitars with no power. In that same episode, the mosquitoes are performing their energetic concert and the castaways are caught up in the excitement. Everything seems perfect, the music, the singing, and the fun, but if you look closely at the instruments, something doesn't add up. The band is playing electric guitars, yet there's no visible power source anywhere. No chords, no amplifiers, nothing that could actually make the instruments work. It's a small detail, but it's impossible to ignore once you notice it. This little goof is a reminder that while the show creates the illusion of a lively island performance, the reality of the production sometimes sneaks through, exposing the gap between the staged paradise and the world of the studio lot. Breathing bubbles. In this episode, the castaways accidentally eat radioactive vegetables, which results in some weird symptoms. As a remedy, the professor comes up with the idea to eat their handmade soap. After this distasteful experience, bubbles suddenly start to float from their mouths. At first, it looks like part of the island's whimsical charm, but if you pay close attention, you'll notice something unusual. Now, if you watch closely, you can see the pipe creating the bubbles behind Gilligan's neck, wires behind the skipper's chair, and behind Marianne, you can see a clamp being used to keep the hose in position. These tiny details are easy to miss, blending into the chaos of the scene, but they're a clear reminder that the island magic was meticulously staged. The professor's radiation meter vanishes. In the same episode, we can spot another mistake. The professor is always tinkering with some new invention, and in this episode, he's focused on a radiation meter that's supposed to measure mysterious activity on the island. At first, the device sits on the table exactly where it should be, quietly humming in the background. But if you watch carefully as the scene progresses, the radiation meter suddenly disappears mid-shot, only to reappear a few moments later without explanation. It's a small continuity error, but once you notice it, it's hard to ignore. Even in calm scenes, props didn't always stay put, showing that the professor's inventions, like the island itself, were carefully staged. A splashy surprise. In this episode, Gilligan is seen diving underwater in a tiny Japanese submarine. It's a hilarious scene, but if you watch closely, you can briefly spot what looks like someone's flippers peeking out from beneath the water, hinting at a crew or diver helping with the scene. Most viewers are focused on the comedic action, so you don't think about it twice, but once you catch it, you can't unsee it. The tiny helicopter. In this episode, a tiny helicopter arrives on the island, carrying the band and their instruments. At first glance, it looks like a clever way to bring excitement to the scene, but if you think about it for a moment, something doesn't make sense. The helicopter is far too small to carry all the band members and their equipment, yet somehow it lands safely and unloads everyone as if weight and physics didn't exist. It's one of those subtle goofs that doesn't ruin the scene, but definitely makes you pause and wonder how the island made this possible. Flying props. The moment Gilligan runs out of the cave, his hat clearly falls off and lands out of frame. Everything feels natural in the moment until the very next shot, where his hat is suddenly back on his head with no one putting it there. It's a small continuity slip, easy to miss if you're focused on the action, but once you notice that magically reappearing hat, it breaks the flow of the scene. Little goofs like this remind viewers that even in fast-paced moments, props didn't always stay consistent on Gilligan's Island. The flaming probe. In the chaos of the Mars probe scene, flames suddenly shoot out, creating a dramatic moment for the castaways. At first it looks like a perfectly executed effect, but if you watch closely, you can actually see the flare device dropping into the sand, revealing exactly how the effect was made. It's a small production slip, but it completely shatters the illusion that the danger is real. Moments like this remind viewers that sometimes the tricks behind the scenes peeked through, giving away the studio magic that made the island come to life. The empty record box. During the Mosquitoes concert, Gilligan gets his hands on a box that's supposed to contain a record, and he starts fiddling with it as part of the scene. At first, it looks like an ordinary prop, just part of the musical chaos, but if you watch carefully, you'll notice something strange. At one point, Gilligan bends the box. This shows it is actually empty, even though the scene implies it should hold a record. It's a small detail, but once you notice it, the illusion of the island instantly breaks. Even in carefully staged scenes, props and effects don't always behave as they should. Bowling ball error. In this episode, Gilligan tries his hand at bowling, and at first, everything seems perfectly normal. The balls are lined up, the pins set, and the scene flows smoothly. But if you watch closely, you'll notice the bowling balls mysteriously change position between shots. One moment a ball is in a certain spot, and in the next shot, it has shifted with no explanation. It's a small continuity slip, but it stands out once you notice it, reminding viewers that even the simplest props weren't always perfectly consistent. Different SS minnow models. Most viewers probably don't notice, but if you pay attention to the opening and closing credits, the SS minnow doesn't always look the same. The model used in the opening shots has slightly different details on the hull and upper deck compared to the one in the closing credits. It's subtle, and at first glance, it might seem unimportant, but it's a clear continuity slip. For a show that's supposed to be about a single-stranded ship and its castaways, even the boat itself can't stay consistent. It's one of those tiny details that only sharp-eyed fans catch, a reminder that even the minnow had its own island of inconsistencies. Mystery footprints. The island looks empty and untouched, but if you watch closely during some beach and jungle scenes, you might notice something strange. Footprints appear in the sand or along paths that don't match the characters' movements, as if someone else had been walking there just before the shot. It's a tiny detail, easy to miss, but it reveals that the crew often moved through the set between takes. These subtle footprints are a little window behind the scenes, showing that even in the most remote corners of the island, the real world of filming was never far away. Disappearing caves. The island is supposed to feel like one continuous, unchanging place, but in the episode Hi-Fi Gilligan, something doesn't line up. Certain caves that appeared in earlier scenes or episodes suddenly vanish, and entirely new ones appear in their place. It's subtle, but once you notice it, the continuity slip is hard to ignore. These disappearing caves remind viewers that the island was really just a carefully constructed set, and the landscape wasn't as permanent or consistent as the show wanted us to believe. Ginger's wardrobe continuity. Ginger is known for her glamorous outfits, but there's a clear continuity slip. She's supposed to have brought only one dress with her on the island, yet throughout the series, she appears in multiple different outfits with no explanation. It's a small detail, but once you notice it, it's hard to ignore, showing that continuity wasn't always strictly maintained. Wedding ring slip. In the middle of the turtle race scene, something unexpected appears on Gilligan's hand, a wedding ring. But here's the catch. Gilligan is never shown as being married in the series, and his character is supposed to be single throughout. What you're seeing isn't a story detail, it's Bob Denver's real-life wedding band slipping into the shot because he forgot to remove it before filming. It's a small slip, but once you notice it, it's a fun little continuity goof that contradicts the character's entire backstory. A random man in frame. In the episode The Big Gold Strike, the characters load in a bunch of gold on a floating raft and try to take off with it. Of course, the gold is way too heavy and they start to sink. As a viewer, you are likely to be caught up in the hilarious moment, so it's not weird that you miss this pretty big blooper. If we zoom into the background, you can see a mystery man standing on the beach and just watching the castaways. We have no idea who this man is, but he's been standing there for quite some time. It is likely a crew member, unaware of the fact that he was standing in the frame. It's a classic blooper that shows the production world peeking into the final footage, even in episodes that otherwise feel seamless. Which mistake surprised you the most? Drop a comment below and don't forget to like and subscribe for more behind the scenes TV secrets.